Sertoma's Service to Mankind Award recognizes outstanding community service by a non-Sertoman for the work that's performed on a volunteer basis. This award is the highest honor that Sertoma can bestow on a non-Sertoman. Recipients of this award are nominated by members of our community and selected by a committee of Sertomans from our club. The winner from our club will be submitted along with other club level recipients to the North Minnesota District, which in turn sends its winners to the region and finally to the national levels. Before you move on with today's program, I would like to congratulate last year's Service to Mankind Award recipient, Craig McMillan, for being chosen as the winner of the North Minnesota District and the Great Plains Region Service to Mankind Award, which includes clubs from Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, and Nebraska. Craig, could you please come forward and receive your plaque? This person has been giving time and talents to the Alexandria area for many years. He, there's your first hint, has volunteered to such organizations as the Boy Scouts, both been very involved with the law enforcement community. The difference, however, is the scope of their involvement. This year's winner was a member of the Alexandria Police Department until his recent retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to announce the recipient of this year's Service to Mankind Award, Jim Gripne. Even through his job, Jim was serving our community. I'd personally like to take this opportunity to thank Jim, as well as other members of our law enforcement community here today for their service to our. Jim has also been involved with Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, the Safe Communities Coalition, Child Passenger Safety, the Bike Rodeo. This time, I would like to introduce Jim Stratton, former Senior District Executive with the Boy Scouts of America, to share with us about Jim's work with Boy Scouts. Here.
Being a former Sertoman, I understand fully what it's like to try to pick one recipient. And it can be really tough because this is a community that has a lot of volunteers in it. It's based on volunteerism. And I know that personally because Boy Scouts deals with volunteers. As a professional scouter, it didn't mean that I did it all myself. You can't. You've got to find some key people. You need volunteers to help. They're dedicated people that are willing to make a difference in the lives of our young people in our community. And Jim is one of those people. I was fortunate enough to have him on my district committee for a number of years. And you know what? I don't remember where or how I met Jim. It was just very fortunate for me that that happened. And maybe you can remember Jim. You're probably okay. It must have been more of a life-altering. Oh, it meant more to you. He was a member at large, and we all know what that is. We all have that in our job description. It's other work as assigned. So, member at large from 12 to 13. And he was also served, he didn't stop at the district, he went up to the council and served as an executive council member.
So my name is Katie Strickler. I coordinate the Healthy Voices, Healthy Choices Coalition. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, we're a coalition that works to reduce substance use with our youth in our community. And so I've had the opportunity to work with Jim as he was a member of that coalition. He first joined that coalition when we started it in September of 2016. And so one role that he took on in the coalition is being a co-chair for the coalition. And so in that position, he really was a champion for the coalition out in the community and really took on that leadership role. I know that he was involved in so many different things, and he took the work that our coalition was doing and he shared that with other groups and all of his community connections that he had. So he was really important and a key player for our coalition when we first started and getting the word out about our coalition and what we were doing. And he also helped recruit numerous new members to our coalition as well. And then anytime that he learned anything new from the work that he did, you know, he'd always come back and say, hey, I shared this new information with the kids that I'm working on in my DARE class, or I shared this with the new group that, another community group that I'm working with. So I knew that he was really bought into our mission and what we were doing, and just really cared about what we were doing in the community for that as well. So thanks for all that you've done, and thanks for everything that you continue to do.
Jim, I want to recognize you today as well for a lot of the things you did at the police department. I'm Rick Weibels, the chief of police, for those that don't know who I am. I want to recognize Jim for all of his hard work at the police department, serving citizens, the school. Jim was assigned to school for years and made connection with kids. It was fun watching one of the employees here coming into service, sees Jim in the crowd and goes, Gripne! And that's real. That's what it's down to. You know, talk about community night out. It's a community engagement program that we have at the police department. We always preach about building partnerships and relationships with our community. And Jim was one of the guys, the main guy behind the scenes there, making that happen. He'd go out and solicit funds or food or donations from different groups to make the community night a success. We've gone from a couple hundred people would come onto that thing to, I think last year we're shooting about 800 people. So it was really a nice event in August. But Jim, thank you for all your service there. Congratulations to Viking Bank for Jim retired from the police force, went to work at the bank, and you got yourself a great, loyal community servant. So congratulations to you, and thank you, Jim.
Experiences with Jim was, Jim is very involved in Beyond the Yellow Ribbon Network, and he, what the network is it helps the military families have resources that are needed out there, and Jim can probably speak a lot better to it than I can. But my first experience was, you know, thank goodness it wasn't with Pretty Little Lights behind me, because I didn't beat him that way, but he had organized a group to go to Camp Ripley, and Jim did this all volunteer on his own. He took a full day, invited some community members to come. We went to Camp Ripley. We got to eat one of their rations that they eat. We got to see the reservist training, and it was such a great experience, something that I have never been a part of. And I was really thankful that Jim took it upon himself to get that going, to enlighten community members on the different things that are going out there and how we can support our military families. So thanks, Jim, for that.
Jim, could you please come forward to receive your award?
You know, I've had the privilege of, I was here when Chuck Ness had received his service award, and it was a really cool thing to see. It's much different to be the recipient and experience all the amazing words that people spoke today. Thank you very much. It's very humbling, and I appreciate the honor.